Hi there, I'm Lisa Ang, and welcome to another episode of The Living Home. A little later on in the show, we'll take a look at the beauty of ceramic tiles. But for now, we visit a home that gives new meaning to the term open concept. They're the creme de la creme of Singapore's residential district. And chances are, if you're living along one of these streets, you can expect a home with the comforts of 10,000 square feet at the very least. This is one place where size does matter, and with each corner turned, the built-up areas just seem to get bigger and more elaborate. But along Fifth Avenue rests a home that doesn't exactly fit into that mold.
The form of the house, in some ways, is arrived at through the site itself. Fifth Avenue, this particular lot has a road that's 3 to 4 meters higher. And to the rear, you have the view of Bukit Timah, essentially. So, I mean, to ensure some degree of privacy, we have designed a courtyard typology house. On the front, we have a 1.5-story granite wall. And that wall and the retaining wall of the road creates an entry courtyard, you will see. The house then focuses inwardsly towards a pool, but to the rear, it looks out to Bukit Timah.
Mr. and Mrs. Chua have called this plot of land home for over 2 decades. And when it came to renovating their property 2 years ago, they had just one request: to let the greenery flourish freely. And with his free reign, Chan transformed this home into a tropical paradise. On walking through the front gate, these stone sculptures greet you. They may look like they were just placed there for aesthetics, but they also serve a practical divide between the garden and the parking area. In fact, the theme of this yellow china stone is kept faithfully throughout the home. The main door opens out to a magnificent courtyard, and the first thing that you see is this beautiful oasis. The strong architectural element becomes the focal point of the house.
Having the pool in the middle of the courtyard presents a very tranquil feeling for the users of the house. I think it aids in evaporative cooling. The other water feature is to the rear of the house on the corner, and that is more of a landscape pool, speak with fish and water gardens. Both these water bodies serves as focal points for the house. One of the things that come with openness is that you need to look into gardens and courtyards. And in this case, we've had the landscaper Michael White collaborate with us on doing the gardens. I think the house really capitalizes on cross ventilation. If you can see, it opens from one end here to the other end. Even though it has a great expanse of glass, the glass is often shaded by the foliage or by overhangs.
The absence of any cover here means that a large part of the house is left to the mercy of Mother Nature, exactly what these homeowners wanted. This cooling effect is no doubt soothing on the eyes, and the architects made a conscious effort to show off this feature from every built-in space. The study, lined extensively with glass walls, becomes a conservatory of sorts and offers an alternative view from heavy reading the family does here. The living area too. The innovative design of this house makes the garden and courtyard felt even from the inside. It's quite apparent that the homeowners have a steadfast love for rich interiors. Designed entirely on their own, the Chua's home is laid out with sentimental touches and plays hosts to countless Asian sculptures and artifacts. The imaginative and generous use of sand-cast ceramics not only creates an impressive collection of colorful and exotic art pieces, it leaves one with a distinctive impression of a truly tropical setting. Well, looking at the house now that it's completed, how pleased are you with the owner's input on the decor?
What I like about the owner's sense of decoration is that all the things here are very personal. They have meanings that have been collected over time, so it makes this house theirs in a very unique way. In some ways, the lesson we learn here is that in the end, the house is designed for the owners themselves. and the architecture should be able to organize their daily events. But in terms of the content and how they fill it up and how they live in it, that part of the equation should best be left to the owner.
The owners have also chosen to add splashes of hand-woven natural fabrics and batik materials here and there to give a softer, more leisurely feel to the place. There are 5 sleeping quarters tucked away in this house. And each opens out into their own private courtyard that offers commanding views of the surroundings. This bungalow is actually built on rather high ground. How have you capitalized on its panoramic view?
Once you're up to the second level, you have a clear view of Bukit Timah. And I think the rooms, both the bedrooms and the family rooms, are designed to maximize that view. Especially since it faces east. If you notice, the house is designed such that windows are, there are very little windows, so to speak. They're all doors and they're slit into pocket walls, and openings are maximized. We have carried the same concept up to the second level. What that does is that even if you're lying down on your bed or sitting down, you're not blocked, as opposed to a normal window that's parapet height.
The bedrooms seem to be the only private areas in this house, but then again, not quite. Many homeowners would probably be against the idea of such extreme openness, especially in the bedroom. But once you get a glimpse of the uninterrupted view of this beautiful valley, not to mention the more than adequate ventilation, it does seem like a strikingly fresh and practical idea. The master bedroom is something else. Part of the walls in the main bedroom have been moved back, and this cleverly confuses the outdoors from within. The bathrooms have a feel of holiday living. It oozes with luxurious finishes, yet maintains a simple, clean style throughout.
The master bathrooms are designed to have separate vanities, essentially, and to also maximize on light. I think the materials used are honed limestone, they're non-slip and natural.
You know, what makes this house strikingly fresh and original has got to be the close attention paid to the textures of all the structural elements, including the style of the interior decoration. The pebble flooring is a special aggregate of stone mixed with cement. This material dominates the long walkways along the pool. And solid timber pillars punctuate these walkways, keeping with a rustic feel, yet with a contemporary touch. The abundant use of wood is apparent in the high teak roofs throughout the house, adding to the tropical atmosphere of the compound. Yet, a refreshing modern twist with the copper roofs used at the top of the house. The main staircase is remarkably light, using materials that are elegant yet simple. Expensive teak planks are used extensively for the floors and stairs, contributing to the feeling of forest intimacy. Now, there's quite an abundant use of natural materials in this bungalow. Can you tell me how you went about blending this unique mix?
One of the key things about this house is to try to use the material in as pure a way as possible. And by using solid slabs of granite, you sort of sense the essence of what stone really is. I think all the doors, windows, columns, and the lining to the ceilings are all wood, mostly Chengai wood. We've avoided using aluminum or stainless steel. The feel is supposed to be quite natural. All these materials complement each other. Essentially, we don't have that wider palette. We have the granite, and we have the pebble wash, we have the timber, and we have the copper roofs. Those are the main elements.
Besides the diversity of materials, this house also demonstrates a nice mix of cultural elements. Tucked away behind the tropical facade of the decor is this nook where all things Oriental come alive. From Chinese ceramics, paintings and furniture. And now, on to the outer deck of this enormous compound. Here's something everyone can certainly enjoy. More greenery in the form of a koi pond and a miniature garden. And of course, if this isn't enough to inspire the senses, there's always the magnificent view of the golden sunset. Well, as you can see, this house becomes truly magical during sunset. The warm rays of the setting sun and the clever play of lightings transform this house into an exciting sensory experience when you come home. A green glow slowly starts to appear from the pool's depths as night falls. The play of dancing shadows and light caught on its reflective surface turns this body of water into a nocturnal feature come alive, and the rooms around it radiate. Well, Sukian, I'm told that everyone who visits this home says it's really gorgeous at night. What were the efforts put into the lighting process?
This house is conceived to be experienced in the evening as well. Therefore, we have, for starters, designed the house with that floating lantern roof effect. In the evening, the roofs become sort of beacons on top of the buildings. The other thing, of course, is to highlight certain features such as the wood columns. You'll realize that we have inserted downlights from the top to emphasize the structure. And of course, the swimming pool is lit in such a way that it becomes the focal point in the evenings. And the landscape as well is lit up in the evenings because the house is designed such that you look outwards into pockets of garden as well as to the central courtyard which houses the swimming pool.
Whether they're bright spotlights strategically placed to highlight external spots of the compound or within the home, this beautiful abode is a shining example of tropical paradise by day and intimate haven under the stars by night. The masterful play of illumination successfully provides a private sanctuary under the bright moonlight, a luxury that not many of us can afford.
Increasingly, I think more discriminating clients are realizing that you can have a brand of tropical architecture that's not necessarily Balinese. It's more about engagement with the landscape and how the spaces flow into one another. Many owners use that term to refer to a kind of open, easy living that refocuses on exterior courts and landscape.